Isang bulan na mo ron chumena matagni ko ni rongon ni bibo ngaro tagi ke misa ropo. Niya na isang bulan na sero ko ni sana. Churi kino na mo ron chumay. Tu na sile. Isang bulan oyo Mr. Ben.
Kela pa?
Na magkikira ni bibo mataka mo ni chikira mo ron buka may no kina diwa na bula FM.
Ang betul sile.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. In this bulletin, Public Accounts Committee queries private firm involvement in ministerial salary payouts. Academics analyze growth trends and data on Fiji's economy. And shortage of civil engineers hinder capital works. The Ministry of Finance has been given 2 weeks to report back to the Public Accounts Committee on the use of a chartered accountancy firm to pay ministerial salaries from 2010 to 2012. The committee held its meeting in Suva today. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
While scrutinising the 2010, 2011 and 2012 Auditor General's reports, the Public Accounts Committee today questioned Ministry of Finance officials.
One, of course, is the salaries payment to the ministers from 2010 right up to 2012. As highlighted by the Auditor General, these payments were made by Ali Specific Limited, and the Auditor General has pointed out that the relevant documents are not available. The Ministry of Finance, as you know, today has said that those documents are not available to them as well, and they will be in touch with the Prime Minister's office and perhaps Ali Specific as well.
Acting Finance Permanent Secretary David Kolatangane explained to the committee that the ministry was sent a request from the Prime Minister's office to pay a lump sum of a little more than $1 million every year for the 3 years in question to the accountancy firm. When questioned about the details of the payment, which ministers and for what amount, Kolatangane said they did not have any supporting documents to answer that, nor did they have acquittals to verify that the amount was paid out. Kolatangane, however, did confirm that all ministerial wages from 2013 reverted to the government payroll. Dr. Prasad says there is a need for further clarifications.
With respect to proper monitoring, documentation of payments made for, particularly for road upgrades and road maintenance. And I think with the new structure in place, with the new FRA, Public Accounts Committee is looking forward to the 2014 audit, and we want to have a good handle on how these things are done, whether there is performance audit, whether proper documentation is there, and whether the taxpayers of this country are getting value for money.
Other ministries expected before the committee this week include the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Women, Children, Poverty Alleviation and Social Welfare. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Ali's Pacific Limited managing partner Dr. Nirbano Ali was in a meeting this afternoon and could not be reached for comments. Experts from Fiji and the region discussed our economy today, picking and prodding best practices for moving forward. Speakers included finance and economy academics analysing growth trends and data on Fiji's current state. Edwin Nund reports.
Some of our best academic minds gathered to thrash out the pros and cons of the economy. Professor Satish Chand from the University of New South Wales, Australia, says things are good for Fiji right now, the perfect time for reforms, one being land.
We can use regional trading agreements to access markets for goods and workers. And we have regional trading agreements, and I think, Shaheen is not here, but I think we have a role to play in these agreements so as to access the markets and the jobs that are in the region.
Professor Chand does point out that Fiji needs to tap into all its unused potential.
We have to spread the benefits of growth. We can't have all the growth on Viti Levu. We can't have all the growth around Denarau. And Fiji has opportunities to do this.
Dr. Sunil Kumar from the University of the South Pacific provided research which he says shows that the current economic boom isn't sustainable in the long term. Government spending, he says, will taper off and says there's been almost no growth in various sectors and industries.
So the recent growth is shown here. Again, it is fluctuating. So the issue is whether this growth will go there and be sustained somewhere. Definitely, it doesn't look like we're going to sustain it at 4%. Already, the projections are that it would decline for some reasons.
However, Reserve Bank Deputy Governor Arif Ali disagrees with Kumar's analysis.
You look at a private sector investment that is significantly grown. You look at the private sector credit growth that is significantly rising, double digit. In fact, they are concerned that the private sector credit growth is too strong. Yeah, but all I'm trying to say is that, it's important to get your data correct. Get as much as data before you start making predictions. Because if you don't, then all you'll do is doomed. And in fact, it just reminded me as if we are sitting here just before the election and someone is making a political speech.
Discussions also included trade within the region and improving public sector governance. The USP will tomorrow host the Pacific Economy Update. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says sound policies and incentives has contributed towards Fiji's consistent economic growth. Utility providers are facing a shortage of skilled labour, and as Ritika Pratap reports, one such entity is the Water Authority of Fiji.
A lot of infrastructure development is taking place around the country, and Fiji is having to hire overseas experts.
Not enough civil engineers in the country locally to recruit. So there is a challenge that we must take on board. We cannot be sitting back and just, harping about this problem.
Opataya Ravai says the Water Authority of Fiji needs mechanical and electrical engineers, and they are liaising with the Higher Education Commission to cater for such causes.
Putting in place systems, not only that within organizations, we need to be working with the universities, FNUs, USPs, University of Fiji. And that is why we also developed in-house a graduate training program. And we take in fresh graduates, take them through the mill, so to speak, learn on the job, and hopefully get them interested in building a career at WEF.
Ravai says this will not stop the brain drain. However, it will be slowed down.
The systems can be developed in such a way that, yes, we're developing our own people locally. The engineering schools of the universities need to do their part as well to make sure they're churning out very good, highly qualified engineers. Because as you know, the infrastructure and the construction industry in Fiji is not slowing down.
The Water Authority of Fiji has received more than $800,000 from New Zealand to allow WEF engineers to undergo training. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Domestic violence can result in physical injury, psychological trauma, and in severe cases, even death. The Fiji Women's Crisis Centre says it will take a collective effort to eliminate this problem for good. According to the Fiji Women's Crisis Centre, there are more domestic violence cases in rural areas when compared to urban areas.
Well, our survey shows that rural women are more prone to domestic violence. The prevalence rates are higher in the rural areas, and that is quite natural because of services and so on. When we come to the urban areas and when we look at the cross-section, actually no woman is exempt.
Since 1984, the centre has recorded all cases lodged with them. It's shocking to note that the highest number of domestic violence cases was recorded in 2014, with 665 reports. Ali believes that we do have the right legislation in place. However, more needs to be done.
And you can have the best of laws. We have somewhat very good legislation around domestic violence and the crimes decree also. But because we're not on the same page, we interpret it differently. We still bring in old traditional thoughts into it, the gendered thoughts into it. Those laws, in a lot of cases, fail women. And also it's gender neutral. So, we most probably will lobby for a review of that law.
Coming up, government commits to protecting marine resources.
If you just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
Those schools which are found misusing the government free education grant will be referred to the police and the Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption. Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says the ministry is getting the audit reports on case-by-case basis from schools. He says misusing education grants is a serious concern and the ministry is looking into some schools which are alleged to have misused funds.
We are auditing the usage of government free education grant for last year. That work has started. As you know, we got over 900 schools, so it will take time.
The government allocated $67.8 million as school grants in the 2015 budget. The Public Service Commission has appointed Viliame Ngudake, current Director of Sugar, as Acting Permanent Secretary for Sugar. PSC Chair Vishnu Mohan says the sugar industry needs a full-time attention as it is facing enormous challenges. Mohan says a lot of work reforms are underway and as such a dedicated person is required to be based at the ministry in the West. The role was overseen by Parmesh Chand, the Permanent Secretary for Public Service since early this year following the passing away of Colonel Manasa Vaningi. Meanwhile, the Penang sugar mill in Rakiraki has resumed crushing sugarcane. The mill has recently been facing mechanical problems since it began crushing on June 30th. Sugarcane Growers Council Chief Executive Sundresh Chetty says the Fiji Sugar Corporation has assured the problems were minor and have been rectified. Chetty says the other 3 mills are operating well and to date about 240,000 tonnes of cane have been crushed. A dog care educational toolkit for primary school children has been launched in Suva today. The book, titled I Want a Puppy, is aimed at supporting the dog awareness campaign of the Animal Health and Production Division of the Ministry of Agriculture. Akusita Tale has the details.
Puppies are known to melt children's hearts, and it is this age group that is being targeted in the new program. I Want a Puppy is a children's book authored by 4 veterinarians as a small project to create a positive impact to a community.
The best way to make people aware is to go through an awareness program that targets our younger generation, especially our school children. This will be the people who will have a lot of responsibility of animal welfare, animal health, and for that matter, animal population.
Dog is getting hungry or thirsty at home. Do you feed your dog? Yeah!
The 29-page booklet has topics ranging from basic needs of a dog, diseases of dogs, responsibility of pet owners, and other lessons.
We are now starting this program for the Suva schools, Suva primary schools, and we intend to extend awareness program into the rural and also into the other parts of Fiji. And the program includes working with the Ministry of Education on how we can best address animal welfare.
The text and the ideas in the book have been made simple so that they can be easily understood by animal health workers, teachers and students. Akusita Talei, FBC News.
The government has reiterated its commitment to protect 30% of its seas by 2020, and the Vatuira seascape is one of those marine resources. A workshop underway in Suva will map out important biological, ecological, social and economic features in the Vatuira seascape and ensure it is designated a marine managed area. Ellen Stolz reports.
Stakeholders like Ra Provincial Administrator Kelepi Kumunameda says 93 villages are directly impacted by the benefits of the Vatuira seascape.
One of my objectives is to make sure and ensure that how can the landowners, traditional, customary landowners in the Nakorotumbu area, Rakiraki area, Saivo, benefit from this Vatuira capacity.
Lomaiviti representative Ratu Sayasi Rongoyawa says the workshop will help him understand more about how to protect this resource.
In Ovalau, there are more than 10 villages, not including Lomaiviti, which has 70 villages. I'm happy to be here. This is where I can learn ways to protect our marine resources.
The annual economic value of fisheries and tourism in the Vatuira seascape is about $71 million. Program Director of Wildlife Conservation Society, Sangita Mangubai, says the spatial planning workshop hopes to get more feedback from stakeholders.
This workshop also provides an opportunity to get an update, to understand what Fiji's commitments are, both nationally and internationally, and to actually learn how all of us can be part of helping to achieve some of those commitments.
Fisheries Permanent Secretary Inoke Wainingolo says the government, through the Green Growth Framework, has provisions to protect such areas.
The establishment of deep water marine protected areas, targeting 30% of offshore fisheries by 2020, identified in the Green Growth Framework, is deemed an immediate priority for the next 5 years.
Wainingolo says similar marine special planning processes can be organized in other parts of the country to achieve the target in the framework. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Over 200 movies will be shown to celebrate the week-long Fiji Film Festival. Movies will be screened in different FNU theatres and Demorda cinemas around the country. Some of FBC's local television shows which will be screened include For the Record, Just Kids, Cyclone Warriors and Wasea Basha. FNU's Acting Vice-Chancellor Professor Ian Rouse says the event will be a milestone achievement for FNU.
Clearly, as a university, we're enthusiastic about encouraging young people to dream of becoming filmmakers. It's a fantastic career.
The Fiji Film Festival starts on Friday at the FNU Raiwai campus in Suva. And on that note, sports is up next. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening. After the break, we'll have the latest on Team Fiji at the Pacific Games. And another setback for the Flying Fijians, with skipper Aka Pusingera also down with injury. These stories and more coming up.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulavanaka. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Leslie Copeland and Milika Tuivonovo added a gold each for Fiji at the Pacific Games last night. At the start of athletics yesterday, Copeland won the men's javelin with a throw of 70.31 meters. The Fiji Pearls began their gold medal defense in spectacular fashion, thrashing Vanuatu 100-15 in their first match last night. The Fiji men's volleyball side lost to Pacific Games defending champions Wallace and Futuna in 3 straight sets yesterday. It was the national side's first loss in 3 games. Meanwhile, karate raked in the biggest number of medals yesterday for Team Fiji with 5 gold. Today, Chochi Veramalua and Andin Ronrolangi Kindia won a gold medal each in the men's and women's kumite event to see Fiji replace Samoa in 4th spot on the medal tally. Vodafone Flying Fijians captain Naka Pusingera will not feature in the Pacific Nations Cup opening match against Tonga this weekend. The powerful back rower suffered a bump to his knee against the Maori All Blacks last Saturday, and officials will not be taking any risks with the regular skipper. Talinda Dakadaka has more.
He played a grand game against the Maori All Blacks, touching down for a try. But now the Flying Fijians will meet the Tongans without inspirational skipper Aka Pusingera, who is being rested as a precautionary measure.
Ngera, he's had a blow to the knee. It's bruising. There's no strains or ligament damage. It's all bruising. So we'll just let that settle down over probably 2 days, and then hopefully he's on the bike, riding the stationary bikes by Wednesday. And you know, he was very keen. He wanted to play this week, but I said no. You know, we've got the bigger picture is the Rugby World Cup.
Flying Fijians vice-captain Veronique Ngoneva looks to be the likely candidate to wear the skipper's armband. One player who could get a call-up against Tonga is Nipi halfback Henry Seniloli, who is raring to play his first international test on home soil.
If I'm given a chance, I'm ready. And if it's so, it'll be the first time I'm playing in front of the home crowd. And I'm very happy and excited.
The Flying Fijians might be missing two key players in the PNC opener, but the side is confident they will just be as potent come Saturday. Tsalendo Takadak, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Tongan side arrived into the country last night, ready to kickstart their PNC season with a win. The side is confident of its chances despite only spending a week together in camp in Tonga.
Fiji had a great start to their campaign, and it's going to be a very hard challenge for us, especially coming to Fiji and playing the game here as well. But it's a challenge that we believe that we've done enough in their first week in Tonga to prepare well, and hopefully once the rest of the team gets in tonight, we can do a bit of training tomorrow, then get ready for Fiji.
The Flying Fijians Tonga clash will kick off at 3 p.m. on Saturday at the NZ Stadium in Suva. Nandi District Schools Kachi rugby teams are ready for tougher competition in the fourth round of the Nandi Zone Kachi League this week. The school's under-13 and under-14 teams are undefeated so far in the competition. School principal Meli Dhambimbula says his teachers and coaches enjoy seeing the future Nandi Reps develop their rugby skills.
We are doing all our best to showcase not only their talents, the boys' talents, but to develop their talent, so they become good rugby players and also represent not only our school, represent our secondary schools and represent our Nandi.
Competition begins at 9 a.m. this Saturday at Prince Charles Park. That's it from Sports Tonight. Good evening.
The Consumer Council says Fiji needs a vehicle recall protocol linked to vehicle recalls overseas. The council says motor vehicle dealers should be proactive and inform customers whether their vehicles are affected. Julie Vatwaliwali reports.
Consumers have been urged to be aware of a global recall of vehicles affecting the airbags of certain vehicle brands and models. Consumer Council Chief Executive Pramila Kumar says some of the vehicles listed are sold either brand new or second-hand in the country.
And the company that is based in Japan called Takata that makes airbags, they supply airbags to a number of automakers. So that means that the various brands of vehicles that you see on our road may be using these Takata airbags, which are faulty in nature.
The massive recall overseas involved more than 53 million vehicles. Land Transport Authority Chief Executive Naisa Tunaleva says the issue is very sensitive.
It's something new to us at the moment, but it's already happening. It's happening out there in the big world, and we are dealing with our franchise people.
Two Motors dealers says they are addressing the issue of defective airbags. However, the recall is not to be confused with the return of the vehicle.
It may involve vehicles getting checked by local dealers for defects or issues specific to recall and may involve replacement of parts or repairs. Julie Vatuwaliwali, FBC News.
Cloudy periods with some showers were experienced over the Lau Group, the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands today. Mainly fine weather prevailed elsewhere. An active trough lies over Tuvalu. Meanwhile, a southeast wind flow prevails over most southwest Pacific Island countries. The temperatures mostly remained in its 20s. Silver recorded the lowest at 25 and Bar hit 30 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast, cloudy periods with some showers over Lau Group, the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands, elsewhere mainly fine. An outlook for Thursday, fine apart from brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands, cool at night. And the main points again. The Ministry of Finance has been given 2 weeks to report back to the Public Accounts Committee on the use of a chartered accountancy firm to pay ministerial salaries from 2010 to 2012. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says sound policies and incentives has contributed towards Fiji's consistent economic growth. And financial expert Professor Satish Chand of the University of New South Wales in Australia says Fiji needs to tap into all its unused potential. Now to our poll segment. This week we're asking, should operating hours of nightclubs and bars be reviewed? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Good night.
घर संसार में आपका स्वागत है। आपका अपना छोटा सा स्वर, जहाँ प्यार भरे रिश्ते पलते हैं, जहाँ हेल्थी रहने की सलाह दी जाती है, जहाँ हम आपको और भी सुंदर बनाते हैं और जहाँ स्वाद की सौगात भी है। नमस्कार, मैं हूँ पल्लवी। सोमवार से शुक्रवार 9 से 12 तक रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर घर संसार में शामिल रहिए मेरे साथ।
ऐसा सुंदर सपना अपना